is in touch with the leadership of the National Assembly to develop what it describes as an exit strategy plan for the country to cope with post-COVID-19 challenges.
And one of the things we are doing is we have come with a lot of bills. Because either we like it or not, by the time we are done with the COVID, the entire government of the Nigerian government will change.
There are areas in this country where if there were no legislators, they will not smell any little, impact of the federal government. So to that effect, I think we have met our impact.
The stakeholders believe more needs to be done in building confidence of the people to support government policies and programs for national development. As part of commitment to take more Nigerians out of poverty, the federal government is introducing reforms into the national social investment programs to generate opportunities in entrepreneurship for the youth population. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that this was part of the fallout of the interministerial meeting organized by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development.
The meeting underscored the progress of social investment programs and agreed to reduce the engagement period of NPAR beneficiaries to give room for more persons. The meeting also launched Integrated National Social Investment, which is intended to reposition NSHIP to cover enrollment of more vulnerable groups and provide access to shock-responsive interventions. The ministers also resolved to expand structures that will assist youth convert their knowledge into skills and improve opportunities.
We are really working on having a unified national social register, whereby we pull all these different data together to see how we can really achieve that.
For us in the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, in the last 5 years, all of these programs have taken place, focused on youth.
We made some calculation. Just for every 500 directors, we can create 300,000 youth employment.
The session further proposed the constitution of a technical working group to drive the implementation of the ministerial efforts. Women are not left out, as plans are underway to initiate and teach N-Health and N-Agro for them to leverage on with sustainable priority to develop and improve their well-being. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The Nigeria Governors Forum has declared a state of emergency on gender-based violence and endorsed the First Lady's communique on the alarming rate of sexual abuse in the country. Abubakar Usman Akwanga again reports that this was contained in a communique reached during the forum's 10th teleconference on COVID-19.
The forum expresses dismay over what it described as a threefold rise of violent sexual abuses within less than 3 months lockdown COVID-19, pledges support on the communique of Nigeria's First Lady on gender-based violence. NGF recommends maximum weight of the law on culprits and charged the police to produce details of prosecution in affected states. On coronavirus pandemic, the forum received update on NGF Subnational Committee interfacing with Presidential Task Force to provide and coordinate strategy for federal and states on relaxation of lockdown. The Nigerian Governors Forum also received a briefing on the outcome of the House Committee on Health Services public hearing on the proposed infection disease bill from Governor of Kebbi State, Abubakar Bagudu. World Bank Country Director Soban Chouahuri gave update on the $750 million additional financing under the State Fiscal Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability Program results. The forum is to liaise with the Conference of Speakers of State Assemblies on the allocation of appropriation funds in respect to the Executive Order 10. A vote of confidence was passed on the chairman of the Police Service Trust Fund. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
And you're watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We now take you to our Lagos studio for more reports Hingino is our guide. Hello, Hingino.
Hello, Hawa. Good afternoon. As the Nigerian economy continues to reopen in phases, small and medium-scale business owners who offer personal services have been given a new set of rules to ensure their safety and that of clients. Joy Ken Abakwea investigates the compliance level of some outlets in Lagos.
Nigerians have been taking extra measures to stay safe and avoid getting infected with coronavirus. While corporate setups have put measures in place, most beauty parlors are doing same, which basically is ensuring that their clients are protected.
We just make sure we are using our nose guide, and them too. They have their coats normally wears when they come in. We have a lot of customers, just few customers. They are just coming in because of the COVID-19.
Maximum of 2 customers inside and outside, 4 or 3. And before we started to wash our hands, after making customers, we also wash our hands.
Patronage is however low, as most ladies admit to have boycotted salons for now.
I don't know how they sanitize the equipment that they use, so I decided to stay on my own to do it by myself. That's why I came to buy things that I can use and make my hair neat.
When the lockdown was eased, I still didn't feel comfortable going out to make my hair because the number kept rising and there's still fear. And so there was no way I could actually go out. I would rather allow my siblings make my hair than for me to go out and make my hair.
The few who still patronize hairdressers reveal that they are taking precautionary measures. The downside to rendering personal services at this time, practitioners point out, is the apathy by clients, which has negatively affected their profit margin tremendously. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakwea, NTA News.
Individual financial discipline will serve as panacea for capital sufficiency post-COVID-19. Abolade Salami in this report inquired from some Lagosians their experiences during the lockdown.
As nations of the world grapples with finding a medical solution to the coronavirus pandemic, Nigeria has intensified research on a possible cure. While the search for the cure goes on, Oluwasegun Ayola, a legal practitioner, like some other Lagosians, say they adjusted their spending to accommodate the new reality by being financially prudent.
I had to just ensure that the only things I had to spend money on were things that were really important. So maybe the lifestyle of having to maybe take a drink or do some other things like that had to be cut off completely.
Because of time, we had to do away with some things that we felt were very important, but COVID has made us to understand that those things are not so important.
Financial experts advise on how to curtail spending during the partial lockdown.
So we need to look at all these things holistically and come up with strategies that can deliver sustainable results. This challenge of COVID-19 is not something that will go away very soon. You should have a long-term view of it. You should have a strategy to maintain a balance between ensuring the accommodation of economic activities and preserving our lives.
For economies of the world to return to the trajectory of growth post-COVID-19, experts have emphasized on financial management. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
That's it from here. We now take a break. Nationwide continues shortly.
I wish to once again commend the frontline workers across the country who, on a daily basis, risk everything to ensure we win this fight. For those who got infected in the line of duty, rest assured that government will do all it takes to support you and your families during this exceedingly difficult period. I will also take this opportunity to assure you all that your safety, well-being, and welfare remains paramount to our government. I am using this opportunity to express our deepest condolences to the families of all Nigerians that have lost their loved ones as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is our collective loss, and we share your grief.
We have observed the lockdown. We have practiced the measures in order to curb the spread of the virus, but we can do better. The coronavirus spread is increasing daily, and only together can we cut down the numbers and defeat the spread of the virus. Remember, COVID-19 is not a death sentence, and a recovered patient cannot spread the disease. Do not stigmatize. Do not hesitate to report any case, or if you have come in contact with anybody that has been infected with COVID-19. If you have cough and fever, please stay at home and call your state hotline. Find state numbers at www.covid19.ncdc.gov.ng. Remember, it is for your own good and for the good of every Nigerian. Let us do better and defeat the virus. Together, we can do this. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
In times like this, the coronavirus is spreading so fast. The use of face masks has become very vital. More importantly, for the elderly in the society whom their immune system is not strong enough to fight the disease. If you must go out, use a face mask. It is not comfortable, but it is necessary. Wear your mask, I wear my mask. So much to do, but stay at home for your own safety. Make an extra washable mask and share with your neighbor. Everyone should use a face mask once you leave home to be safe from the coronavirus, especially the elderly persons in our society. Protect me, I'll protect you. This message was brought to you by the Coalition of Societies for the Right of Older Persons in Nigeria, COSRAPPing, in collaboration with the National.
The truth of the matter is that you do not have two sunrises in one day, even in Africa.
But the good thing is for us to forgive and forget.
History will take care of everything.
My name is Baba Kingibe.
On behalf of the federal government, I tender the nation's apology to the family of late MKO Abiola.
Thanks for rejoining. Now to politics. 6 governorship aspirants on the platform of the All Progressives Congress ahead of the Edo State governorship primary election have been screened at the party's National Secretariat, Abuja. Chairman of the screening committee, Professor Jonathan Ayuba, said the outcome of their exercise subject to approval and confirmation by the party's National Working Committee.
Ours is to do our assignment. Ours is not to pass judgment because we are not a court of law. Ours is to make recommendation. And I urge you to wait for the official release of such recommendations by the party.
One of the aspirants and current governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseke, shared his experience with journalists on the outcome of the exercise held behind closed door.
The controversial certificates from the University of Ibadan with all the signatures and so whatever the deduct did. Has been tendered. There were a few other questions that were asked, but like I said, as a party man, I've gone through the screening process, but I do not believe that I'll get justice because Comrade Adams Oshomole is an interested party in the Edo process. One of the questions I was asked, which I was, was that why did I issue a gazette that will prevent the party from performing the direct elections in Edo? That didn't I see it as an anti-party activity? I just felt that, when we now put the issue of politics above the lives of the citizens of Edo State, then we may be missing the point.
And still on the September governorship election in Edo State, the People's Democratic Party and some others in opposition say they have resolved to work towards the victory of their parties. Timothy Yusuf reports.
So far, the PDP primary screening committee for the Edo State governorship election, headed by Kingsley Chinda, has screened 4 aspirants at its sitting. The exercise was conducted behind closed door, except for Kenneth Imansuangon, who was screened via virtual method.
Our leadership selection process must be reformed.
Our aspirants are working very hard and penetrating the grassroots in Edo State.
National chairman of the Action Democratic Party, Yabagi Yusuf Sani, has explained that the party will be participating fully in the forthcoming Edo and Ondo States governorship elections.
The ADP campaign machinery is already in place for the Edo and Ondo governorship election. Many aspirants have intimated us of their intention to run under our platform, while some are still consulting.
The ADP national chairman also commended President Muhammadu Buhari for signing an Executive Order 10, enforcing the financial autonomy of the state legislature and judiciary. The National Conscience Party, one among the political parties deregistered by INEC after the 2019 general elections, has applauded the nation's election management body's guidelines on Edo and Ondo elections, as it also seeks for credible elections.
Everybody should play the game by the rules. Election is not a do or die affair.
In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
And to the judiciary, the Federal High Court, Abuja, has upheld the powers of the Independent National Electoral Commission to deregister political parties in line with Section 222 of the 1999 Constitution. Justice Anwuli Chikere delivered the ruling in a suit filed by 34 political parties. Olabode Arewa reports.
Delivering judgment in a joint suit filed by the concerned political parties to challenge their deregistration, the court held that the parties failed to state sufficient facts to support their claims, as they did.
Join us after the PTF daily briefing for today. Now to the latest from the NCDC. 409 new cases of COVID-19 were recorded in Nigeria on Wednesday, June 10th, 2020. The latest figures from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control indicates that Lagos recorded 201 cases, FCT 85, Delta 22, while Edo recorded 16 new cases. Nasarawa, Borno and Kaduna had 14 cases each, Bauchi 10 and 9 for Rivers State. The new figures released at about 11 p.m. Wednesday also indicate that Kano and Enugu recorded 5 new cases, Ogun and Ondo 4, while Bayelsa, Kebbi and Plateau had 2 cases each. So far, 382 deaths have been recorded in the country with 4,351 discharged patients. Nigeria currently has 13,873 confirmed cases of the virus. We now join Mitairi at the conference hall of the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, venue of the just ended daily briefing by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Mitairi, what exactly is the position of the PTF on the increasing number of infections despite the broad-based public knowledge on COVID-19 following the survey findings by the PTF?
Hello. Through power, the Presidential Task Force, the national coordinator of the PTF, says that according to a survey, about 90% of Nigerians are aware of COVID-19, but the issue still remains that of behavioral change and perception, because part of the challenge is that people have perception theories, especially, don't forget that about 60% of coronavirus cases, according to the PTF, are in about 20 local governments in the country that have been identified as high burden areas. And in some of these places, there are perception theories. Some people think that COVID-19 is the big man's disease, and there are others in communities who think that COVID-19 is only in the cities. And there are those too who ask, why are we not seeing the patients on television or hearing about them on radio? But with respect to that, don't forget that the NCDC says that it is not part of its ethics to reveal the identity of patients unless the patients themselves decide to do so. So this is why the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 is trying to intensify risk communication and community sensitization to bring about behavioral change, especially now that the Presidential Task Force, as it said, is decentralizing the responsibility of managing the pandemic to the state government and also to the people, that's the citizens themselves. And this is because it wants the citizens to take responsibility in observing all the safety and personal protocols, especially that of wearing the face mask, washing hands regularly, and observing social distancing. The PTF says it is already working with traditional and religious leaders as well as local government chairmen to ensure that there is greater sensitization, awareness and risk communication and community sensitization on COVID-19 among the citizenry, especially in the grassroots. That's it from me, Howard.
Thank you very much, Mitaire. Key remains taking personal responsibility. And still on COVID-19, the Akwa Ibom State government has again discharged 27 persons from the isolation center in Ibom Multi-Specialty Hospital. Susan Asuko reports that the 27 persons tested negative.
There is no gainsaying the fact that the novel coronavirus pandemic, which took the world unawares, did not meet Akwa Ibom State unprepared. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, the state government has been aggressive in the treatment of infected persons as well as contact tracing. Again, 27 persons who tested positive and isolated have been treated and discharged. With a greater number of the discharged persons being members of the press community, the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Pt2, could not contain his joy. Speaking at the event, the State Incident Manager and Commissioner for Health, Dr. Dominic Ukpong, said the event is significant because there have been no loss recorded as the discharged persons are going out in good health after being isolated for 19 days.
We have also decontaminated their households, so they are going back to a very safe environment. Government has supported the team, has given us the drugs, has given us the facilities, and that is why we are recording near 100% success in treatment rates.
Meanwhile, the polymerase chain reaction PCR molecular laboratory single-handedly built by the state government has been certified by the NCDC. In Uyo, Susan Asuko, NTA News.
And we now take you to our Kaduna Network Center, where Suleiman is waiting.
And welcome to Kaduna Network Center. The Nigerian Air Force will deploy more troops and equipment to its detachment at Birnungwari to decimate rampaging marauders that have been terrorizing people in northwest states of the country. Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Wakar, gave this assurance in his message to the inauguration of new facilities at the Nigeria Air Force 271 Detachment Birnungwari. The report. For some time now, the once troubled Birnungwari axis of Kaduna State has been enjoying relative peace due to sustained effort of the Nigerian Air Force and other security operatives. With ongoing intensified military onslaught in the northeast and neighboring Katsina and Sokoto states, the bandits are on rampage. The Nigerian Air Force has therefore resolved to hasten the provision of critical infrastructure at its detachment in Birnungwari to facilitate deployment of more logistics that will aid the fight against banditry.
The Special Operations Command is fully committed to the fight against banditry in the northwest, for which the 271 Nigerian Air Force Detachment Birnungwari has been pivotal to this cause.
The one block of 6 flats and medical center inaugurated by the representative of the Chief of the Air Staff are aimed at boosting the morale of fighting forces and to facilitate deployment of more in the continued fight against assailants.
We'll continue to be committed to the safety and well-being of the people of this general area and the entire region of the Northwest. As we are providing more and more facilities in this location, we intend to bring in more forces to strengthen the capability of the force here to respond to anything that will come up.
The NAV authorities also expressed commitment to ensure improvement of personnel welfare, hence charged them to exhibit high sense of patriotism and resilience in defense of the territorial integrity of Nigeria and national security. As the rainfall stabilizes, signifying the commencement of this year's farming season, farmers in Jigawa State are welcoming the season with enthusiasm and high hopes despite the challenges of COVID-19. Mansur Aliyu reports.
Jigawa is among the many states with a large number of the affected victims of the deadly coronavirus pandemic. Farming activity is not an exception to the setback recorded due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Many farmers here in Jigawa State could not properly harvest their dry season crops due to the lockdown order earlier imposed. 75-year-old Ismail Dahiru, who has been in all year-round farming activities for close to 5 decades, has never had it so bad like this period, as he lost many of his cultivated dry season farm produce as markets remain short.
Certainly, we lost many of our farm produce, particularly onions, was 200,000 naira due to the lockdown order.
Farmers, however, are not demoralized by the situation. Just as government eases down the lockdown, they are all out to make up what they lost due to the pandemic. Farming commences in earnest. Many farmers here, who constitute close to 70% of the state's population, are lay fears for food shortage. They are hopeful of good yield, but if provided with necessary input supply like fertilizer.
We have already imported enough of the 2 imported raw materials, that is phosphate and potash, to produce 8,050,000 kg bags of NPK fertilizer. While the 2 raw materials sourced locally, urea and fillers, are delivered on an ongoing basis to the blending plants.
The recent distribution of fertilizer to farmers affected by flood last year boosted the morale of the farmers. But like Oliver Twist, they appeal for more. In Duse, Mansur Aliyu Hassan, NTA News.
Thank you, Mansur. Hawa, take it away from here.
Thank you, Suleiman. And moving on, an integrated mobile temperature measurement and disinfection channel has been designed in Nigeria for the containment of COVID-19 and other infectious diseases. Elizabeth Omori reports that the device is assembled in Nigeria.
As nations grapple with the spread of coronavirus, governments, individuals, and organizations are funding research and innovations to find a cure to the disease. With the optimism that a vaccine will be developed, efforts are being intensified to curtail the spread of COVID-19. One of the latest containment measures is this mobile temperature measurement and disinfection channel. The mobile device is a fast machine which can within 5 seconds conduct several functions to help reduce the rate of transmission of coronavirus.
The system itself has a body sensor. As far as you are coming close to it, it will give you, once you have a high temperature motif, it will appear, it will declare, it will give you an alarm. It has a UV light, that goes around the body system. It has everything that I can be able to create and expose more other diseases that's in the body system.
For us to have this, we can actually go back to our normal life and reopen, and we can be rest assured that we don't have problem with getting infected.
The channel, which has an infrared to measure human temperature, serves as both disinfectant and sanitizer.
We passed through laboratory tests and we were able to come up with this. So it is totally safe. People should be confident enough to enter there and allow it to shower on them.
The misting coming out sanitize the entire body and thereby killing any form of bacteria.
The temperature measurement and disinfection channel is the first in Nigeria, built by an indigenous engineering company. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NT News.
Time for another break. Do stay. We have more reports.
Hey guys, let's do this. Action.
You can deceive everyone, but you certainly cannot deceive me. I see you.
But if the package is faulty, there'll be no buyers.
So I suggest you sit down and have a talk with your husband.
So you have faith. Everything is possible.
You heard him, right?
You needed help and I helped you.
This place will just so the boss work it wolf.
You mean you still work for Matthew Osage?
What?
Nigerians, let us take responsibility. Stay healthy, stay safe, and curb the spread of the virus. Take responsibility. The coronavirus spreads from one person to another. Let us avoid crowd gathering of any kind for any reason. Take responsibility. Avoid traveling from one state to another during these lockdown restrictions. Obey all the rules that are put in place. Take responsibility. Stop spreading fake news and unverified reports about the coronavirus. There is no known cure for COVID-19. Take responsibility. Observe all the measures that can help stop the spread of the virus. Together, we can do this, but only if we take responsibility.
Thanks for rejoining us. Let's now take you straight to our Ibadan Network Center. Kemi, you're on.
Hawa, thank you very much and welcome to Ibadan. It has been observed that the measles vaccine has been on the decline since the onset of COVID-19 in Oyo State, as parents are scared of taking their children to the centers for the exercise. This came to the fore at a parley on media orientation towards improving measles vaccination. Rofia Animashan Badmus reports.
Each year, vaccines prevent more than 2.5 million child deaths globally, thereby preventing an additional 2 million child deaths each year through immunization. Stakeholders are of the opinion that information about measles and other related diseases with strategies for prevention are vital at this point in time.
The government is aware that they need to immunize their children. So I want to beg them, hospital is safe now for them to take their children to the hospital.
Despite the fact that we're dealing with the issue of COVID, we should not lose focus of other engagement that we've been having before, so that we'll not be dealing with COVID and we now start suffering from other preventable diseases.
We're engaging media to equip them to update their knowledge about both measles awareness and COVID-19.
It was therefore agreed that routine vaccination for children is key public health strategies to reduce measles death globally. In Ibadan, Rofia Animashan Badmus, NTA News.
And one of the laudable intervention programs of the federal government in agricultural sector is the introduction of the Anchor Borrowers Program to farmers. In this report, Kayode Oladoshu explores benefit of a scheme towards food production in the country.
The program, which was launched by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, is intended to provide farm inputs in cash and kind to smallholder farmers to boost agricultural production in the country. The loan scheme created various opportunities for the farmers to participate in different agricultural intervention programs developed by the federal government for food sufficiency in the nation. To this end, the achievements derived from the program play a vital role for the farmers, bringing about increase in their productivity and improve agricultural practices.
We are still appreciating the efforts of the federal government in assisting the farmers, though our case is Oliver Twist asking for more.
I was involved in this Anchor Borrowers program last year, but I found out that it's very good.
if you actually practice it the way it's supposed to be.
With the impact of Anchor Borrower Scheme on agricultural practices, some farmers are yet to key into the program.
To be able to key into this program, you must register under a commodity association and you must undergo some training.
As the scheme provides essential services, complement training for farmers and others in the agricultural sector, it is expected that beneficiaries would make best use of the opportunities to cover more ground. In Ibadan, Kayodola Dushu, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. What takes it from here for the...
Very well, Kemi, and farmers have been encouraged to judiciously utilize the federal government's loans to ensure food sufficiency in the country. This was during the flag-off of the 2020 Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria wet season rice farming program in Cross River State. Paul Abel has more.
Before now, it was an uphill task for farmers to access loans. But with President Muhammadu Buhari's agricultural revolution agenda, the CBN, through the Anchor Borrowers program, has made it easy for farmers, especially the rice value chain, who are now beneficiaries.
Hybrid rice seedlings have been all distributed to all the farmers.
Once the seedlings are planted, they develop immediately, and the yield component of this seedling is about 7 to 9 tons per hectare.
During the COVID period, the abundant rice that you produce had made the price of rice in Cross River State market to be low.
The commencement of the 2020 wet season rice farming season, the Cross River State government and other stakeholders say will create employment for many youths, make profit, boost production. Some beneficiaries were also presented with inputs for enhanced rice cultivation. The beneficiaries speak.
As a rice farmer, I will use these inputs that have been given unto me to make sure I extend my rice farm.
I'm going to start planting immediately. I appreciate the effort of the government.
The rice farmers are, however, expected to repay their loans promptly to enable others to also benefit from the gesture. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
From Calabar, we go to Port Harcourt, and Jenny, it's your turn.
Thank you, Hawa. The Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enito Ogunwusi Ojaja II, has donated 2 motorized medulla fumigating machines to River State government as part of his support in combating the coronavirus disease. Ogedinyekwe reports that the Oni, represented by Princess Fadekemi Fadujutimi, made the presentation at Government House, Port Harcourt. Her report.
The machines, which are locally fabricated, is intended to fumigate the environment and keep the spread of the virus in check. Princess Fadojutimi, who is also a member of the Monarch's Task Force on COVID-19, said the machines are easy to operate using sodium hydrochloride as solution. She explained that the fumigation machines, alongside other measures, will assist the River State government in the containment of the disease.
Is a little token from His Imperial Majesty when he came up with this idea with the youth to create jobs, and also he's tried to create an entrepreneurship spirit within them.
Governor Wike, who was represented by the State Commissioner for Health, Professor Prince Wichike, thanked the ON for the kind gesture and commended his patriotism to his fatherland.
So thank you for what you have given to us. Definitely is going to sanitize and fumigate our environment as much as possible, and at least cut down or reduce as much as possible the virus.
He assured the donor that the machines will be put into judicious use by the relevant government agencies for the overall benefit of the people. High point was a demonstration on the use of the machines. In Port Harcourt, Ogedinyekwe, NTA News.
River State government is to construct the 4th flyover bridge at GRA Junction, expand the Rumala flyover, and also dualize the Momi B Road to Stadium Road for easy flow of traffic in the city capital. The governor spoke after inspecting some ongoing projects in the state. Again, Ogedinyekwe reports.
The first port of call was the Rebisi flyover, one of the 3 flyover bridges being constructed simultaneously by the River State government. The governor was impressed with the level of job done and the expertise displayed by the construction firm. At Okoronodo, the on-the-spot inspection indicates the project had reached an appreciable level. He noted that if the contractor remains committed, they may deliver the project before the stipulated time of 16 months.
Very soon we will start with the fourth flyover, which is at Jare Junction, and then do alliance Mommy B to Stadium Road, and then do alliance for Genesis, that is to be extension to Ukure Road, and then trying to expand the flyover at Tromora. Of course, everybody has complained about the narrowness of that flyover, so we tend to expand it.
The governor also inspected some ongoing urban renewal projects at the new and old GRA.
Yes, while we are fighting COVID-19, we must also do other work. At the end of the day, COVID-19 will come and go, and so there must be infrastructure that we have to keep on ground that will improve the economic activities of the state and our people. So still fighting COVID-19 at the same time, making sure that the infrastructures are going on.
Governor Wike, elated with the achievements of his administration in his first year of second term, assured that his administration will complete every project started in spite the dwindling internally generated revenue occasioned by COVID-19. Managing Director of the construction firm thanked the governor for the confidence reposed in his organization, assuring that projects will be delivered in record time. In Port Harcourt, Ogedinyekwere, NTA News.
Well, that's it from Port Harcourt. It's now back to you in Abuja.
Many thanks to you, Jenny. And sports now. Renamed Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, set for unveiling tomorrow, Friday. Tamara Ebiwe brings us more on Sports Update.
As Nigeria sets to mark Democracy Day on Friday, 12th of June, former President of Nigeria Football Federation, Sani Lulu, has commended President Muhammadu Buhari on his resilience in renaming the National Stadium Abuja to Moshood Abiola National Stadium in recognition of the developmental efforts of the late pillar of sports in Africa.
One of those prominent areas we knew him for was the sporting development. He was vast. Abiola Football Club was one of the leading football areas. Even the media area to the Concord Club was a special environment to propel the image of Nigeria through his media houses. So I think this man, there's nothing you give to him that is not worthy. And I think one of our most prominent edifices was the National Stadium.
Meanwhile, the Moshood Abiola National Stadium Abuja is wearing a new look in readiness for Friday's official unveiling of the national monument by President Muhammadu Buhari. Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
That's Nationwide today. We thank you for watching. Take responsibility and stay safe. Good evening.